The Sims 4 Eco Lifestyle expansion pack got announced to reactions. Today I will be talking about my thoughts on the pack along with the community reactions and maybe even ranting a bit. Eco Lifestyle intrigues me. I won't pretend that I am as excited for it as other packs. There are a lot of valid criticisms based on the trailer, due in a large part to a lack of information. The trailer is very vague. Things go by quickly, and you can't really tell anything solid. The singers used to be more open with their Twitter Q&As, but this seems to have stopped in favor of showing everything in a live stream. It really sucks, especially for a pack like this. If anything, we need more information. Back in the day, expansions used to have gameplay trailers for every big aspect of the pack. This has stopped, in large part to I think the shorter wait times between announcement and release. However, I really miss those, as they did a much better job explaining the pack than one gameplay trailer trying to fit everything in it. A lot of people have been comparing this pack to Island Living. No, I do not think this is my first Island Living, but I can't argue that the themes are very similar. I'd even say Eco Lifestyle's features would have drastically helped with the half-baked feel of Island Living. Things like community projects would have fit wonderfully in Island Living, especially because they wanted to put such a large focus on a close-knit community. I recognize Eco Lifestyle being its own expansion gives us the things we probably would not have had, like upcycling, candle making, and the New World. But can these really justify it being an expansion? The main draw of the pack seems to be the changing world. However, that to me feels like a fun thing to do for the first time and then a tedious slog afterwards. Especially if you just want to play in a cleaned up Evergreen Harbor. After all, I like the Strangeville story, but I don't want to play through it every time I want normal gameplay in the town. The other draws outside of community projects seem to be hobby items, i.e. candle making, bug farm, etc. Yes, there are also the items suited to off-the-grid lots, but it only seems like they're adding 3 of those, which isn't a lot. Frankly, if this is all the pack has to offer, it should really be a game pack. The one exception depends on the amount of depth that goes into the big features, in which there seems to be only 2, the changing world and community projects. I don't know where else to put this, but I hate the name Eco Lifestyle. Maybe it could be that I'm acquainted with living in the title, but something feels off about it to me. Maybe the flow when you say it as The Sims 4 Eco Lifestyle. Ironically enough, it feels unnatural, and I way to avoid the pattern of expansions with the word living. Man, 4 games in and the Sims team is already running out of unique expansion names. For the second part of the video, I want to talk/rant about how the community responded to this pack in a very toxic manner. I think we forgot how bad it gets because Discovery University was a widely accepted theme. I have really only been paying attention to the Twitter community, so I do not know how well this applies to other platforms of social media. Just to get that out there. There are negative people who are toxic. Those are the people who use their dissatisfaction with the pack to personally attack a member of the community or someone who works on the game. An example of this would be people who attack game changers for not being authentic with their pack reviews, because they get it for free, which is simply not true. Game changers are some of the most honest reviewers out there. And just to clarify, personal attack at this point, because we are going to be talking about it more, a personal attack is when you express your negative opinion for the pack in a way that insults another person. So, making a general statement of dislike for the pack is not a personal attack. With that being said, I do think there is a more pressing group causing toxicity in the Sims fandom. A group that has only gotten as bad as they have because they get away with it. The defensive types. What I dub the defensive types are the people who like to spread positivity so much they harangue people with negative opinions and label them as toxic, even if they aren't necessarily toxic. I feel the need to clarify it is not wrong to be excited for a pack. It is, however, wrong to attack people who don't share your excitement. These people tend to get away with it more. I honestly believe that they do not think they are toxic. I think they see no wrong in spreading positivity and excitement. And on paper, it isn't wrong. That is why these individuals don't just get away with what they're doing, but are often labeled the good guys. It has gotten to the point where I think they are a much bigger source of toxicity in the fandom, and I believe they are also growing. Oftentimes, these people will say it is okay if you like the pack, it is okay if you don't like the pack. However, what they don't say is that it is okay if you don't like the pack, just don't speak about it. Comments such as "this isn't what I wanted," or "I don't think this pack looks like it's worth the price," may not be the most constructive of opinions, but as long as they're not personally attacking anybody with these opinions, they are valid. However, these people still get unfairly labeled by the defensive types. What I have found is that when these unfairly labeled people are fighting other simmers, they really are just fighting for people to recognize their opinion as valid. A common comeback to these people is, "if you don't like it, don't buy it," which, while true, feels like a lazy term to try to completely negate anything remotely negative. In fairness, maybe people shouldn't make snap judgments over a limited amount of information. However, the gurus are sending out this limited information, and I bet they expect snap judgments on it. Obviously, they're not going to reveal the whole pack at once, but I do think they should reveal more solid details if they do not want these judgments in the pack. I mean, the amount of time it took to get information on what the bug farm and grub thing are was ridiculous. Before I end, I would like to phrase one more time, I do not believe these defensive people are being negative on purpose. I do think they lack the initiative to look and realize this, though. So, I urge you to see if you are part of the problem, on either side. I talked a lot about one particular side of the spectrum today, but there are toxic people on both. Listen, I'm just a teenager with a small following, so not a lot of people are probably going to see this video or even watch all the way through it. But this issue has really been bugging me lately. I do not care what side you are on. All it comes down to is that as a community, we need to learn to respect all opinions.